A high school love triangle and a teacher behind bars on hard copy.
Watch our teamwork, Channel 4 News.
From your 24-hour news source, this is Today in South Florida with Marianne Marciano, Bob Weaver Weather, Tony Segreto Sports, and the Channel 4 News team.
President Bush orders a unilateral ceasefire declaring an end to the Persian Gulf War. At this hour, Iraq appears to be honoring that ceasefire as Saddam Hussein orders his soldiers to stop fighting. And jubilation at the home front, where families wait for loved ones to return. Good morning at 6 a.m. This is Today in South Florida, Thursday, February 28th. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning. Bob Weaver, the day off today. He will be back tomorrow, and unfortunately, I've got the bad news. It looks like a lot of rain today, which we can use, definitely, but not a great day. Tomorrow's looking better.
Not a great day to hang out.
That's true, definitely.
Okay. All right, thanks, Brian.
Sure.
We'll talk to you later. Another night of dramatic developments in the Gulf War. Iraq is ordering its soldiers to stop all fighting against U.S.-led allied forces. The Iraqi order came after President Bush declared victory in the Gulf War and announced the Allies would put their offensive on hold at midnight Eastern Time. Reporter Frank Sesno has the latest from Washington.
They were words few thought would be uttered quite so soon.
Kuwait is liberated. Iraq's army is defeated. Our military objectives are met.
An emotional, occasionally smiling President Bush pronounced mission accomplished and said the time had come to stop the fighting.
I am pleased to announce that at midnight tonight, Eastern Standard Time, exactly 100 hours since ground operations commenced and 6 weeks since the start of Operation Desert Storm, all United States and coalition forces will suspend offensive combat operations.
After a day that saw jubilant flag-waving Kuwaitis take to the streets in relief and gratitude, President Bush heralded victory in the name of the United Nations and in the cause of the rule of law.
Tonight, the Kuwaiti flag once again flies above the capital of a free and sovereign nation, and the American flag flies above our embassy.
Whether the suspension of hostilities, as the president calls it, becomes a permanent ceasefire is up to the Iraqis. He said they must release immediately all coalition prisoners of war, third country nationals, and the remains of those killed in action, reveal the whereabouts of all mines and booby traps, comply with all relevant UN resolutions, refrain from firing on coalition forces, and from launching any more Scud missiles. Mr. Bush said Iraq must also, within 48 hours, designate military commanders to meet with allied counterparts to arrange the formal aspects of the ceasefire, essentially to surrender. The president wanted to deliver a prompt message to the families of U.S. servicemen and women.
And soon, we will open wide our arms to welcome back home to America our magnificent fighting forces.
This is not a time for euphoria or a time to gloat, the president said, but it is a time for pride. Within days of Iraq's invasion of Kuwait, President Bush declared this aggression will not stand. The coalition he built and the military operation he ordered defied both expectations and history. The president's spokesman says Mr. Bush feels a burden has been lifted. Frank Sesno, CNN, the White House.
As evidence of Allied military success rolls in, Iraqi diplomats this morning agreed unconditionally to all 12 UN Security Council resolutions. Iraq's acceptance of the 12 resolutions was sent to the United Nations by Iraqi Foreign Minister Tariq Aziz. The UN Security Council plans to meet in private later this morning. Well, the terror that's shrouded Israel for the past 6 weeks is finally over today. The emergency civilian alert for Iraqi missile attacks has been lifted. A military spokesman told citizens on Israeli radio this morning to pack up their protection kits and gas masks and unseal their rooms and houses. Well, the war's quick end came as no surprise to its top commanders, who yesterday gave a glowing account of their performance. In an historic news conference, General Norman Schwarzkopf gave a step-by-step look at the war's strategy.
It would be firing on that wire. That's why we shifted it in the very latter days. We absolutely punished this area very heavily because that was the first challenge. Once we got through this and we're moving, then it's a different war. Then we're fighting our kind of war.
Schwarzkopf said Desert Storm's mission went so smoothly, even Iraq's capital was within grasp.
Ladies and gentlemen, when we were here, We were 150 miles away from Baghdad, and there was nobody between us and Baghdad. If it had been our intention to take Iraq, if it had been our intention to destroy the country, if it had been our intention to overrun the country, we could have done it unopposed.
The final Allied death toll of the war, 23 dead in the air war, 28 killed in ground combat, and 28 soldiers died in the Scud missile attack in Saudi Arabia for a total of 79 deaths. 53 Americans are still missing or captured. Florida's congressional leaders are rallying behind President Bush and the troops in the Persian Gulf. Senator Bob Graham and Congresswoman Ileana Ros-Lehtinen stood strong behind their president.
I cannot imagine that even a man as stupid and inept as Saddam Hussein could not understand that he has no choice now but to comply. This is not a question of us asking him voluntarily to come forward and comply. He has been crushed, and he has no alternative but to comply.
Everything seems to indicate that we should be happy, we should be pleased, and we should lament the loss of life. Any loss of life is a terrible loss for our nation, but it's been such a successful operation, it's hard not to smile with a big sense of relief.
In Baghdad, the sound of gunfire can still be heard, but in celebration rather than violence. Allied forces have broken off fighting in southern Iraq and Kuwait, taking up defensive positions instead. Crowds are still pouring into the streets, dancing and cheering, all waking up this morning to a day of liberation.
Makes you feel pretty good. They're pretty grateful people. Flowers and candy and hugs and handshakes and genuine appreciation. And feels good.
Does it make you feel the risk was worth it?
Of course. Even without that, the risk would be worth it.
I want to make thanks to Mr. Bush, and I want to say to Mr. Bush, we are thank you very much because you helped the people in Kuwait. And special thanks for Mr. Norman Schwarzkopf because he direct and he controlled the war in the Gulf. It's very good. You can see all the people in Kuwait now, they are happy because Kuwait now is free.
It's hearty and yellowing and happy. We never did it before. I mean, it's something great from Bush and all the people who helped us. We don't believe it's something called Saddam, and that's all.
And reaction to the end of the war continues to pour in from around our community. Channel 4's David Bloom takes a look from Coconut Grove.
They were waving flags at this VFW post in Hialeah even before President Bush announced that the ground war will end after only 100 hours.
All United States and coalition forces will suspend offensive combat operations.
Thank God.
I'm glad it's over with so soon. I expected more resistance there, but I'm glad that his men surrendered like they did and saved so many lives that we had.
President Bush called it a potentially historic peace and called upon Americans to give thanks, something these war veterans are all too eager to do.
Good night, and may God bless the United States of America.
I'm happy. I can't wait till they come home. It looks like when these guys come back, we're going to be welcomed home and congratulated as heroes as they are.
Throughout South Florida, then, there is optimism that if President Bush is willing to call it quits, Saddam Hussein will too. In Coconut Grove, David Bloom for Today in South Florida.
And Brian Allen is sitting in today for Bob Weaver.
A much-deserved day off today he's got.
He could not wake up this morning, at least not early. He went to see the Phantom of the Opera
Oh, did he? I hear it's fantastic. Everybody that saw the preview there tonight says absolutely fantastic.
He was pretty excited about it, so
I would be too.
We'll hear all about it tomorrow.
Thanks for the tickets, Bob.
Yes, thanks for the tickets. I tried to scam some myself.
Let's go ahead and open up and show you what's going on this morning at 6 a.m. Currently, the temperature in Fort Lauderdale, 70 degrees. Humidity, it is muggy out there this morning, 93%. Winds are out of the north at 8. Temperature in Miami right now, 69 degrees. Humidity, 97%. Winds are out of the northwest at 3. And the barometer, 30-12, and holding steady. As we go ahead and open it up, first stop, Clearview radar this morning. There's a lot of rain out here. As far as you can see, Fort Myers, Naples, all the way to Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach. There are a couple of showers in central Dade County. I know it. I read the summary. For some reason, though, they're just not showing up on radar. And all this extends about 135 miles into the Gulf. So basically, this is what we're looking at all day long, some clouds, showers, and don't be surprised if you hear some thunderstorms. So we go ahead and take a look at the satellite loop. We can show you what's going on. Basically, the whole entire state socked in under the clouds right now. As we come down here, all this bright white, those are the highest tops. That's where most of the moisture is. That's going to continue through today and tonight, but it looks like we'll finally start to break back into some sunshine come tomorrow. There will be a little bit of sunshine for today, but really, most of it is going to be clouds. The rest of the state, everybody's going to see some showers and thunderstorms. Only 68 to 71 in the northern portion of the state, 72 to 75 in the central portion. As you move down here into southern Florida, look for highs between 75 and 78 degrees. Clouds keeping the temperatures down. The forecast, they go like this for today. Plenty of clouds, showers, and thunderstorms. A high of 78 for tonight. There you go. Cloudy with some lingering showers, a low of 67. And your 4 more days. The weekend looking pretty good, Saturday and Sunday. Lots of sunshine, 82 and 83. And on Monday, the next system works its way down into South Florida. We'll talk about some showers firing up and a high of 80 degrees.
Any cold weather coming up?
Nope, can't find it. I've been looking. This is good, though, for the lawns.
Look hard,
This is
okay?
good for the lawns today.
Okay, thanks, Brian.
Sure.
11 minutes after the hour right now. Up next in business on Today in South Florida, the Congressional Budget Office warns lawmakers about the economic price of the war. And the Bush administration proposes more changes in America's banking industry. That and much, much more when we come right back. Don't go away.
From your 24-hour news source, Channel 4 News continues.
6:13 right now. In business news this morning, with the cost of the Persian Gulf War skyrocketing into the billions, Washington lawmakers are now being warned that post-war spending may exceed the cost of the war itself. That from the head of the Congressional Budget Office, who says post-war American military and economic programs in the Middle East are the source of greatest uncertainty. In other money news, the Bush administration has proposed more long-term changes in America's banking industry. Cynthia Rogers has details on the possible new rules.
Nosediving real estate prices are continuing to slice bank assets. Capital is dwindling. Banks aren't lending. Bankers say it's a downward spiral.
If people make loans, banks don't generate profits unless by keeping money in the vault. You have to put it out in the form of loans. And unless banks are profitable, we don't have strong capital, we don't have a strong banking system, and we don't have a strong economy.
In the Northeast, the Bank of New England went under last month, and dozens of others are troubled. Regulators in Washington want to stop the cycle and hope to by easing rules to encourage more bank lending. To loosen credit, regulators are expected to propose allowing banks to value real estate on long-term projections rather than current depressed prices, encouraging banks to borrow directly from the Fed, and allowing banks to convert portions of bad loans into good loans. The Fed has also recently considered whether to get into the commercial loan business itself, something it did during the last severe bank crisis of the 1930s. Some bank experts say such measures could make things worse rather than better.
The risk of forbearance is that this snowball is pushed farther forward, not diminishing, but getting bigger. And none of us know for certain what the future holds, but that was the risk I was worried about with that scheme.
That's what happened with the S&L crisis, critics charge, and taxpayers now face a $500 billion bailout bill. Even if the banks get easier standards, there's no guarantee they'll start lending or the borrowers will rush to take out loans. The Congress and administration seem to agree that a change in the rules is at least a start. Cynthia Rogers, CNN Business News, Washington.
Time now for a look ahead at some of the stories that we'll be following later today. President Bush officially announces the end of the Persian Gulf War. Allied forces ending their offensive posture at midnight last night. The only gunfire being heard in Baghdad is for celebration. Iraqi citizens flooding the streets, happy about the end to the fighting. And cautious optimism for families of soldiers in Operation Desert Storm amid celebrations and tears of joy. The big question today, when are the soldiers coming home? And this big question right now is, how is traffic moving? Joe Brennan takes a look.
Okay, thanks, Marianne. It looks like it's not moving too well out through Dade County. A lot of slick spots on those roadways this morning. Look out for it. That'll really bog things down this morning. Leave a little early. Also, northbound Palmetto approaching the trail. We have an accident. 3 cars involved in that one. And in Broward County earlier this morning, southbound 95 approaching Sheridan, we had that problem with the jackknifed 18-wheeler. That's still slowing travel down in the area, and it's very wet on 95 and the turnpike this morning. Marianne, back to you.
All right, thanks, Joe. 6:17 right now. Up next in sports on Today in South Florida, the brooms come out of the closet for the Canes. Tony's coming up next with Morning Roundup.
From your 24-hour news source, Channel 4 News continues.
Good morning, everyone. Well, always a great rivalry no matter what the sport. The Canes and Gators going at it again in baseball last night, Mark Light Stadium. Hey, Maniac, you ready for another sweep, are you? Got the boom out? Hey, they jump on Florida, bottom of the first. Charles Johnson, Miami's designated home run hitter, hits a 2-run shot as it goes over. Miami squandered a 5-run lead, then trailing 7-6, bottom of the 10th. Florida second baseman Joe Russo. Oh, got to squeeze the ball in the glove, Joseph. Don Robinson scores. Here comes Juan Hernandez. Another fantastic finish for Miami. They take it the final 8-7. Well, it's 2 Gators for the price of 1. Hosting LSU in basketball last night. LSU big man Shaquille O'Neal, the monster jam, 19 points. Oh, hold on to the rim, and 18 rebounds. The outlet pass to Sean Griggs for the slam. LSU wins it, the final 79-66. Well, surprise, surprise, the NCAA is investigating the UNLV basketball program again. Head coach Jerry Tarkanian says he will consider NBA coaching jobs. Well, the full New York Yankees spring training squad got together for the first time yesterday. Yankee fans like me dreaming they'll get their game together this season. Pitcher Pascual Perez and center fielder Roberto Kelly, the only AWOL players. The Yankees particularly upset at Kelly. Well, everyone should have fun at spring training, even at somebody else's expense. Now watch the background as Cincinnati's Joe Oliver sneaks up and pops the big pie in the face on pitcher Norm Charlton. Now, you know, sometime, somehow this season, Charlton will get Oliver back, and something tells me that you might see that same video on the Tonys today. Don't forget, we'll be back in about a half hour with more sports.
Check on traffic now with Joe Brennan, who's watching things for us. How are things going this Thursday morning, Joe?
Slow going this morning, Marianne. As a matter of fact, an accident down the Palmetto northbound approaching the Miami Trail. Travel there already backing up. A couple of the right lanes are blocked off. 3 cars involved in that scrape. 95 not too bad into downtown Miami yet, but it's wet and it's slowing down. Broward County still has some problems on 95 southbound approaching Sheridan. Earlier had a jackknifed 18-wheeler that's giving motors some fits trying to make it through that area. Turnpike looks a whole lot better, though. Marianne, that's a check on Channel 4 News traffic. Back to you.
Early problems. Thanks, Joe. Well, even as the war winds down, designers are still using the stars and stripes to mix fashion with national pride. Well, Channel 4's John Holden doesn't just want to show us this story. He really feels it's his patriotic duty.
We've been seeing it in nearly every facet of life, that patriotic display of the red, white, and blue in everything we do, from the clothes we wear to the pride we fly high in the sky. So it's only natural that patriotic fervor would hit South Florida's beaches too, right? Only I'm not talking about the American flag. No, I'm talking about patriotic bikinis.
Beaches as American as apple pie. I think it's a wonderful place to show patriotism.
And who's responsible for these patriotic scraps of explosive swimwear? Appropriately, a place called TNT.
Today, not tomorrow. We do everything here right away. It's kind of an explosion to get a bathing suit made right away and exciting. Go out and wear it that day. Girls come in here at 9 o'clock every morning, 9:30, and they're out on the beach by 10.
Now, Stuart Ample is used to making a splash in a flash when it comes to designing bikini wear. This former bodybuilder prides himself in his sewing speed, creating custom designs in a matter of minutes.
I was timed at 7 minutes, 57 seconds to make a 2-piece bandeau top bathing suit, and I can probably even break that record. That's been a while.
And when the patriotic trend hit the beach, Stewart was just as fast to turn the fashion fabrics of red, white, and blue.
Since the war broke out, we've been getting a lot of patriotic requests. I even make little scrunchies for people that don't want a bathing suit. They can put a little scrunchie in their hair just to show the colors.
So even if the beach isn't a likely place to fly the flag, leave it to Stuart Ample to find a fashionable way to still wear your pride. In Boca Raton, John Holden, Channel 4 News.
Well, you sure don't need a whole lot of material for those outfits.
I'm being quiet here.
Yeah, because I warned you, no sexist comments,
I wasn't
okay?
going to say anything. I mean, what a better way to show off your pride.
There isn't a better way, I suppose.
I don't think
I haven't
so.
been to the beach lately. I haven't gotten a chance to see them for myself, but I'm
But
sure
you notice, though, John showed no men.
Yeah,
That's
I did notice. All right, 25 minutes after the hour right now. Today in South Florida comes back right after this. But first, last night's winning lottery numbers. Here they are. Cash 3, 0, 5, and 4. And Fantasy 5, 1, 28, 12, 24, and 3.
I'm Deborah Norval. When I found out I was pregnant, I began regular appointments with my doctor. More than anything else, I want this to be a healthy baby. And it's what the March of Dimes wants too. They teach women about the importance of good prenatal care and the dangers of drinking, smoking, or taking any drug without a doctor's order. If you know someone who's having a baby and need information, call the March of Dimes and get involved. Be a part of Rock America.
From your 24-hour news source, Channel 4 News continues.
I am pleased to announce that at midnight tonight, Eastern Standard Time, exactly 100 hours since ground operations commenced and 6 weeks since the start of Operation Desert Storm, all United States and coalition forces will suspend offensive combat operations.
Good morning, I'm Marianne Murciano. Another night of dramatic events in the Gulf. Just hours after President Bush declares an end to the war, Iraq is ordering its soldiers to stop all fighting against U.S.-led allied forces. Jim Miklashevsky has the latest from Washington.
Kuwait is liberated. Iraq's army is defeated. Our military objectives are met.
White House officials say the president had become convinced that the war was over, that Iraq's military backbone had been broken, and he wanted the fighting stopped to avoid unnecessary killing. The temporary ceasefire would become formal in 48 hours if Iraq releases all POWs and Kuwaiti detainees, informs Kuwait of the location of all land and sea mines, and fully complies with all 12 UN resolutions. Also, Iraq must not fire on any coalition forces or launch any Scud missiles. The president appeared confident that terms would be accepted and declared the war is now behind us.
Tonight, though, let us be proud of what we have accomplished. Let us give thanks to those who risked their lives. Let us never forget those who gave their lives.
And once again, that was NBC's Jim Miklashevsky reporting from Washington. As evidence of Allied military success rolls in, Iraqi diplomats this morning agreed unconditionally to all 12 UN Security Council resolutions. Iraq's acceptance of the 12 resolutions was sent to the United Nations by Iraqi Foreign Minister Tariq Aziz. The UN Security Council plans to meet in private later this morning. The terror that's shrouded Israel for the past 6 weeks is finally over today. The emergency civilian alert for Iraqi missile attacks has been lifted. A military spokesman told citizens on Israeli radio this morning to pack up their protection kits and gas masks and unseal their rooms and houses. The war's quick end came as no surprise to its top commanders, who yesterday gave a glowing account of their performance. In an historic news conference, General Norman Schwarzkopf gave the press a step-by-step look at the war's strategy.
Retiring on that wire. That's why we shifted it in the very latter days. We absolutely punished this area very heavily because that was the first challenge. Once we got through this and we're moving, then it's a different war. Then we're fighting our kind of war.
Schwarzkopf said Desert Storm's mission went so smoothly, even Iraq's capital was within grasp.
Ladies and gentlemen, when we were here, we were 150 miles away from Baghdad, and there was nobody between us and Baghdad. If it had been our intention to take Iraq, if it had been our intention to destroy the country, if it had been our intention to overrun the country, we could have done it unopposed.
And the final death toll of the war for Allied forces, 23 dead in the air war, 28 killed in ground combat, and 28 in the Scud missile attack in Saudi Arabia, for a total of 79 deaths. 53 Americans are still missing or captured. Florida's congressional leaders are rallying behind President Bush and the troops in the Persian Gulf. Senator Bob Graham and Congresswoman Ileana Ros-Lehtinen stood strong behind their president.
I cannot imagine that even a man as stupid and inept as Saddam Hussein could not understand that he has no choice now but to comply. This is not a question of us asking him voluntarily to come forward and comply. He has been crushed, and he has no alternative but to comply.
Everything seems to indicate that we should be happy, we should be pleased, and we should lament the loss of life. Any loss of life is a terrible loss for our nation, but it's been such a successful operation, it's hard not to smile with a big sense of relief.
In Kuwait, the sound of gunfire can still be heard, but in celebration rather than violence. Allied forces have broken off fighting in southern Iraq and Kuwait, taking up defensive positions instead. Crowds are still pouring into the streets, dancing and cheering, all waking up this morning to a day of liberation.
They should feel pretty good. They're pretty grateful people. Flowers and candy and hugs and handshakes and genuine appreciation. And feels good.
Does it make you feel the risk was worth it?
Of course. Even without that, the risk would be worth it.
I want to make thanks to Mr. Bush, and I want to say to Mr. Bush, we are thank you very much because you help the people in Kuwait. And special thanks for Mr. Norman Schwarzkopf because he direct and he control the war in the Gulf. It's very good. You can see all the people in Kuwait now, they are happy because Kuwait now is free.
So healthy and yellowing and happy. We never did it before. I mean, it's something great from Bush and all the people who help us. We don't believe it's something cuts it down, and that's all.
And here on the home front, tears of joy and the popping of champagne corks as relatives of loved ones in the Persian Gulf react to President Bush's announcement of the war's end. Channel 4's Beverly Bright says it was an emotional evening at Operation Homefront headquarters in Lauderdale Lakes.
This meeting of Hollywood's Operation Homefront won't be the last, but it marks the start of a new attitude among members and volunteers. For weeks now, they've sought strength from one another as their loved ones engaged in war. Now, they struggle to restrain their excitement with victory in the air.
Don't overreact, because what could happen is you could be standing up and cheering and all of a sudden get smacked in the face to find out that there's an ace in the hole or something's happening. Yes, we all want it to end, but I'm telling everybody tonight, wait until the fat lady sings.
There weren't that many deaths. I'm grateful for that. I'm sorry for even one death, but it could have been worse, and it's turning out to be a lot better.
For families who came together to comfort one another during the war, news from their commander-in-chief that the war is almost over was the best news they could have possibly shared.
It's what I wanted to hear. It's what we've all been wanting to hear for, like, how many months now? Since August, my son's been there. I know lots of others been there that long and longer. And that's what we were waiting for tonight. Thank you, God.
I'm stunned. I watched my husband go to Vietnam, and thank God he came back. But it's totally different when it's your son. It's really difficult, and I just didn't think it would be this quick.
As the president told the nation, this is no time for euphoria. But Operation Homefront members didn't have to be reminded that it was a time for national pride. In Hollywood, Beverly White, Channel 4 News.
With the cost of the Persian Gulf War skyrocketing into the billions, Washington lawmakers are now being warned that post-war spending may exceed the cost of the war itself. That from the head of the Congressional Budget Office, who says post-war American military and economic programs in the Middle East are the source of greatest uncertainty. but no uncertainty about the weather today. It sure is raining out there.
Well, I'm certain that it's going to not be a great day. Let's go ahead and put it that way.
Unless you just like that kind of
Well, it's kind of good, though. We need the rain. Los Angeles yesterday, you ready for this? They've been in a drought. Almost 2¼ inches of rain set a record for them for a one-day rainfall total. They need it more than we do.
They sure do need
But
it
we'll
out there.
take what we can get.
Yeah, we'll take it. My lawn sure needs it. It'll be a lot greener today.
Definitely. Let's go ahead and take a look outside. There you go. Right now, beautiful shot this morning. Somebody getting ready to take the old boat out. Currently 74 degrees. The feels-like temperature is 74 as well. Humidity, it is muggy here in downtown Miami and actually all across South Florida. Humidity at 93%. Winds out of the southeast of 4 and almost, we're kind of creeping up on a 1/10 inch of rain so far in the rain gauge, but we'll definitely be adding to that as the day goes on. Miami currently 69, the beach 72, Fort Lauderdale 71 degrees, Kendall at 68, Key West this morning 70 degrees. Everybody's seen a lot of clouds. Speaking of the clouds, here comes some rain. Now still, it's hard to find it in Dade County. We got a little bit pushing toward Marathon and just 1 or 2 stray showers. Most of it, though, continues to be north, a lot of it throughout Broward County, and this area continues to expand all the way out to Freeport and beyond. Well, that wasn't bad enough. There's about 135 miles of rain yet to make it on shore. All this moving east about 30 miles per hour. We're looking for some showers and also some thunderstorms to fire up for today, so really not a great day. Keep the umbrella handy. Let's go take a look at the satellite loop across the United States. Here you can see it the past 20 hours or so as the rain all builds and continues to move across. There you can see it stretching out almost to Pensacola as far out in the Gulf. We're seeing more down around Louisiana. The good news, though, definitely out into California. Throughout LA, it's still raining this morning out there, which is some good news for them. Like I said, almost 2¼ inches of rain yesterday. We needed about 15 more inches. Doesn't look like they're going to get it, but they will take whatever they can get. And it continues to be cloudy with some light snow through Minnesota. Talking about Florida today, no snow, just everybody looking at some rain. Cool up north, 68 to 71 degrees with some showers and some thunderstorms. Central portion of the state around Tampa and Orlando, around 72 to 75. And for South Florida today, lots of clouds and showers, 75 to 78. The boating forecast starts out like this. Winds out of the east today at 10 to 15. Seas 2 to 4 feet. Bay is a moderate chop. Surf temperature 73 degrees. For today, plenty of clouds, showers, and yeah, even a couple of thunder boomers in there. A high of 78 degrees. And for tonight, cloudy with some lingering showers, a low of 67. And your 4 more days, weekend is looking good. Saturday and Sunday, 82 and 83 degrees. Plenty of sunshine. Monday, the next system on the way through, 80 degrees and some hit or miss showers. There you go.
I hope they hit. All right, well, let's see if those showers are affecting traffic this morning. Joe Brennan is watching the road for us. Joe, what do you see?
Well, they are definitely affecting things out on the roadways this morning, Marianne. Southbound 95, not too bad yet. Getting into downtown Miami, a little slower than you might anticipate because of the rainfall and the wet roadways out there. Everything is slowing down a little bit, all over the place, really, even through the Golden Glades. Now an accident on the Palmetto northbound approaching the trail has the 2 right lanes blocked off. 3 cars involved in that one. It is backing up very heavily, very quickly. As for Broward County, better news. Southbound 95 approaching Sheridan had a tractor-trailer jackknife there early this morning. That not a factor any longer. It's off to the right side. Not much of a delay around it any longer. The rest of Broward County still doing all right on the rest of 95 and the Turnpike. Let's check on Channel 4 News traffic. Back to you, Marianne.
All right, thanks a lot, Joe. 6:39 right now, or 21 before 7. Still to come on today in South Florida, morning figures from the world's financial markets. And Storm and Norman goes on the prowl. Excerpts from an extraordinary press conference when we come right back.
Channel 4 News. First and exclusive reports. David Bloom uncovers South Florida's connection to Saddam's war machine. The Miami Herald gives rave reviews to Susan Whitley's reports. From the front lines to the headlines. Steve Handelsman's continuous live reports from the Minis. And the Helps in a Front Line. Here all day and all night. Channel 4 News. Watch our team work.
A high school love triangle, a favorite teacher behind bars, and angry students lead a protest. On Hard Copy.
Hard Copy. Weekdays at 4:30 after Personalities. From your 24-hour news source, Channel 4 News continues.
6:42 right now, taking a look at this morning's business from around the world. Here's Gail Putnam.
Well,
World markets are boosted by news of a ceasefire in the Persian Gulf. In Tokyo overnight, the key Nikkei index was up 315 points, a gain of more than 2%. In London this morning, the Financial Times 100 index opened almost 20 points higher on heavy volume. The dollar opened for trading in London lower against the major currencies. Gold opened up from its previous close in New York. The U.S. economy shrank at an annual rate of 2% in the last 3 months of 1990. That's the steepest decline since the depths of the 1982 recession. And the end of the war and more favorable financing conditions are expected to begin boosting sales of existing homes. According to the National Association of Realtors, they were down 7% nationwide in January. The average price, just over $94,000. On Wall Street, the Dow Jones Industrial Average opens at 2889.11 after closing 24.5 points higher yesterday. That's the business brief for this morning. I'm Gail Buckner.
And time now for a look ahead at some of the stories that will be making news today. President Bush officially announces the end of the Persian Gulf War. Allied forces ending their offensive posture at midnight last night. The only gunfire being heard in Baghdad is for celebration. Iraqi citizens flooding the streets, happy about the end to the fighting. And cautious optimism for families of soldiers in Operation Desert Storm amid celebrations and tears of joy. The big question today, when are the soldiers coming home? Let's see how that rain is affecting rush hour conditions this morning. Joe Brennan is watching traffic for us. Joe?
Okay, Marianne, definitely the rain coming down a lot of locations has it slow. One of those places on the Palmetto northbound right before the Tamiami Trail. Accident there, 3 cars involved. A couple of the right lanes have been blocked off, so we've got a big backup going already through that vicinity. Very heavy, I might add. So take alternate routes. Take extra time this morning, too, around the big curve of the Palmetto. A little better news, but southbound getting heavier, approaching I-75. As for Broward County, no new accidents reported there, but it's still wet everywhere you go, save for Palm Beach County this morning. So, as we mentioned, take an extra 5-10 minutes to get to work on time. Marianne, back to you.
Okay, thanks, Joe. Coming up in sports on Today in South Florida, the legends of golf make a visit to town. Tony Segredo explains next in the Morning Roundup.
From your 24-hour news source, Channel 4 News continues.
Good morning again, everyone. Hey, it's time to tee it up. The Doral Rider Open begins today. $1.4 million in prize money. Greg Norman, the defending champion. Here's some tee time if you want to get out to Doral and see some players tee off. This all on the 10th tee at 7:54. You can see Jack Nicklaus. Then at 8:02, it's a great threesome. Ballesteros, Floyd, and Craig Stadler. Then at 8:34, Mark Calcavecchia. At 8:42, Greg Norman, Dale Irwin, and John Houston. Well, yesterday's Pro-Am at Doral, not hard to tell the AMs from the pros. That's Miami Heat partner Billy Cunningham. You know, at each event this year, Pro Tim Simpson will help the National Center for Missing Children carrying a missing child's picture from that area on his golf bag, hoping that someone in the gallery or the TV audience will recognize them.
We were looking for an opportunity to try to reach the millions of Americans who are golfers or golf fans, because this is a huge audience of people who might not otherwise be reached by this information.
By the way, the little girl's picture, her name is Kaylee Nicole Lopez, so hopefully someone will recognize her and we can find Kaylee Nicole Lopez. By the way, as we said, tee off time, 7:54, you can see Jack Nicklaus. Another reminder, at noon today, the Breeders' Cup is expected to announce that Gulfstream will host the Breeders' Cup in 1992. And another reminder, tonight at 7:30 at the Miami Arena, the Miami Heat will entertain the world champion Detroit Pistons. And another reminder, see, you ought to write all these little things down so you know what's going on. New edition of the Tonys today, so hopefully we'll see you back here at 5:30. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
6:49 right now. Coming up next on Today in South Florida, Brian Allen's forecast. But first, we have last night's winning lottery numbers for Cash 3 and Fantasy 5.
From your 24-hour news source, Channel 4 News continues.
7 before 7 now. That means it's time to talk to Joe Biden and find out how the roads are looking, how your drive to work will be today.
It doesn't look too good so far, Marianne. Problems on the Palmetto. 95 doing all right. Southbound into downtown Miami definitely getting a little heavier and a lot slower this morning because of the wet roadways all over the Tri-County area. We really need to take some extra time. As we mentioned, 826 northbound approaching the trail. Earlier accident there. 3 cars involved. They're opening it up again, but still very heavy on the approach. As for Broward County, no new problems reported. It's just wet and slick, and you'll need the extra driving time this morning to get where you got to be on time. Marianne, back to you.
All right, and that can be pretty hard some mornings,
Yes,
especially when it's raining out there.
The rain is going to continue for rush hour.
What about this afternoon?
And this afternoon and tonight. There you go.
Drive time all around.
All the way around. Right. It's just going to be wet.
Forget it. Stay home.
There's an idea. Just don't drive. Let's go outside right now, and we'll take a stop at Keystone Point Marina this morning. Show you what's going on as we check the Channel 4 weather station. Currently, the temperature of downtown Miami, 74 degrees. It feels like temperature 74 as well. Humidity, it is just saturated out there this morning at 93%. Winds out of the southeast at 4. We're going at 6/100ths inches of rain. Almost a tenth of an inch, but definitely past that as the rain continues for today. Currently, Miami 69, the beach 72, Fort Lauderdale 71 degrees, Kendall 68, and Key West 70 so far this morning. First stop, as we make our way across South Florida this morning, is Clearview Radar. Big area of rain. Fort Myers, Naples, and this extends all the way north of Tampa. It extends 140 miles this morning out into the Gulf. All this moving to the east at about 30 miles per hour. As it continues to move, it continues to build, and we're seeing more rain happen. We have had reports of a couple of thunderstorms through the Middle Keys, and right out here, even though you can't see it, you just see the green. There's a little bit of yellow and orange in there. High top of about 44,000 feet, so some pretty good thunderstorms. All this moving to the east, it's going to continue to be damp today. Go ahead and take a shot of the satellite look. This is the Gulf now. You can see all this continuing to develop, this bright white line, as you see down here, almost parallel to South Florida. There's nothing but rain. It's going to continue to move to the east today. Look for some showers to continue throughout the day, and even some thunderstorms firing up a little bit later on. And that's basically the forecast call for the entire state as we go and show you the state. Cool up north though, 68 to 71 degrees, 72 to 75, Tampa and Orlando. And that's down here in South Florida, 75 to 78, the showers and the thunderstorms. The forecasts go like this. For the boaters today, everybody down there at Keystone Point Marina. Winds out of the east about 10 to 15, seas running 2 to 4 feet. Surf temperature 73 degrees. For today, a high of 78 degrees. Plenty of clouds with showers and thunderstorms continuing for tonight. Look for cloudy skies, some lingering showers, a low of 67, and under 4 more days, the weekend looking great. Saturday, 82 degrees. Sunday, 83. And some showers on the way back here. Monday, and a high of 80.
And everything is on cue.
Everything is right on track.
All right, thanks, Brian. Well, it was clearly the day for General Norman Schwarzkopf yesterday. The Desert Storm Commander now taking on the title, the Mother of All Griefers. One of Storm and Norman's final statements finding its place in history. The commander responding to the question, what did he think of Saddam Hussein as a military strategist?
As far as Saddam Hussein being a great military strategist, he is neither a strategist, nor is he schooled in the operational art, nor is he a tactician, nor is he a general, nor is he as a soldier. Other than that, he's a great military man. I want you to know that.
Well,
spares no feelings there.
That's right. Pretty glad. Well, that's about it for us. The Today Show's coming up next. We leave you this morning with pictures of the liberated Kuwait.
Have a great day.
you wish is at your disposal. Friendship. Sadaqa.
Channel 4 News. First and exclusive reports. David Bloom uncovers South Florida's connection to Saddam's war machine. Riley Ho gives rave reviews to Susan Lickney's reports. From the front lines to the headlines. Steve Handelsman's continuous live reports from the Mideast. And the Health Center Helpline. Here all day and all night. Channel 4 News. Watch our team work.
A high school love triangle, a favorite teacher behind bars, and angry students lead a protest. On hard copy.
Hard copy. Weekdays at 4:30 after Personalities.